So I want to give you a little bit of information about CIRRUS and how it works and what is expected of you, the student. Once you've enrolled in the correct course, you will come to the login screen from this point forward, where you'll just have to enter your email and your password. Then once you sign in, you will locate your active course. So of course, you probably are only going to see one here, unless you're taking my Access course at the same time. So when you come into the program, you're going to see basically everything that's listed. This is a cover of the textbook that's being used for the course, and then you're going to see all of the information listed below. So I'm looking at the modules at this point, and I just want to give you a little bit of background as to why we're using this particular program now as the training and assessment software to go along with this textbook. One thing that's important to realize and that's great about this is that you no longer need to have any downloads. This is all cloud-based. The other thing is you'll notice that we are covering Word 2019. Even though in all of the labs on campus and probably most of your computers, you're still using Word 2016. You don't need to buy the software because, again, this is all going to be available to you through the CIRRUS program. So it doesn't matter what software you're using. It also doesn't matter whether you're using a Mac or a Chromebook because it's all cloud-based. So that actually makes it nice as far as not having to come to the open lab, if you don't have a particular software. So once you get in here, you're going to notice that things are broken down by chapters. And once you take a look at the calendar, you're going to see which chapters are going to be covered for the semester. I just want to go over how things are set up and what is expected of you, because it might be a little bit overwhelming because you're going to see so many different things available to you. When you take a look at the chapters, you're going to notice that, for example, just looking here at chapter 1, that you have some training, and there are some things that are required in regards to the training. And then as you scroll down, you're going to see where you have the review and assessment areas of the chapter. And if you looked at what is required within the course as far as what is going to count towards grading, not every single one of these items is required. However, there are some things that I'm going to recommend. First of all, the tutorials are 10% of your grade. So what does that mean? The first thing that you should always do is to look at the chapter opener. And what this is going to do is give you two different options here. The first is you'll notice that this is the textbook. You can actually go through what the objectives are when it comes to each chapter and what the chapter is going to cover. Okay. After that, you're going to notice it's going to say Activity 1, Guide and Practice Tutorials. So as you open these, you're going to see, depending on what type of learner you are, you have a couple different choices here. I'm going to click on the first tutorial just so you can see how this loads and what it looks like. So you have the tutorial and you can see that it's going to cover these two items. So if this is a review, and you maybe already have experience with Word and the beginning chapters are basically just a review, it's nothing new, then you might want to skip the guided information and go directly to the practice. So in order to go to the practice, in the top left corner, you're going to see this button up here, and you can see through the guide section all the different tasks that are covered. And this comes with an audio. If you want to skip over the guide because you feel you already know how to do this, then you can jump right to the practice section. And then you can continue. It's going to tell you what's going to be covered. Hit begin.
A blank document from the new backstage area.
And then you're just going to follow the directions as necessary.
Congratulations, you have completed the practice section.
So once you've completed it, you're just going to hit close and move on to the next one. So these should all be completed for the chapter. But again, you do not have to sit and go through all of these different items. If you already feel comfortable, you can just jump to the practice area. Okay? And I want you to realize that there are videos. You can go back to the textbook, and it will all appear on the screen for you for each one of these items. So you have various different ways to learn about the different features that are covered in each chapter. Once you've completed the training items, you're going to be able to come down here to the review and assessment, and you're going to notice you have quite a few different items here, which I know can probably be overwhelming at first. But remember, not everything is required. But again, if you have the time and you want to really learn the ins and outs of Word and all that it is capable of doing, spend some time with this. So the chapter summary is going to do just that. It's going to give you an overall summary of what was covered in the chapter based on those tutorials you completed. If you want to review commands like shortcuts, you can go into this commands review. If you want to test to make sure that you understand all the terminology that was covered before you take the required concept exam, then you might want to do a knowledge check. You will notice that it's basically a matching section. You just go into the attempt. You will see as far as the command. And when you're doing these items, I recommend that you have a Word document open, because I don't expect you to remember every keyboard shortcut that is available. But if you have a Word document open, you can kind of do a process of elimination to see which one is correct. Okay? So this is one of the knowledge checks, and you can see as far as that you have multiple choice options here. So then you're going to notice you have these exercises. Okay? Now again, these are not part of your assignment grade, but I do recommend you complete them to make sure you understand how to do the functions or the features of the chapter before you get into the graded assignments. You have unlimited attempts on these exercises. And again, what you're going to do is actually work within Word and complete these assignments. I'm just going to open one up here so you can see exactly how it works and how it loads. You'll notice this symbol happens each time that it's loading, so you can tell that it's actually doing something and you're not just wondering what's going to happen. So what's going to do is give you the directions. For these exercises, it's going to be you're working on a Word document and you're going to complete several steps. So you're going to follow a direction, you'll click next, and it will take you to the next direction. So this is what it looks like. It tells you how many tasks are on here. I don't have anything timed, and again, you have unlimited amount of attempts. So you hit begin. Now the other thing I want to show you is that notice how small this is, okay? If this happens, if you just hit your escape key, it will take you to this item where you can click full screen, and then it will expand so you can actually see the full screen. So these are the directions in these boxes here, and what I recommend doing is just to click that square, and it will move the direction down into the bottom right corner so it doesn't obstruct your view, so that you can see exactly what the directions are. So here is the task instruction. Again, move the insertion point to the end of the document and then type the following text. So I would actually complete the step. Again, Control End takes you to the end of your document. Make sure you know that command. That's an important one. Do not just use your arrow keys or your mouse, because unless you can see where the last paragraph mark is without having your show hide codes on, you won't know where the end of the document is. And it says to key the following information: created by Maria Solberg, and then enter the date of Tuesday, October 8th, 2030. So once you've completed that instruction, up here in the top right corner, you will see the word Next. I click Next. You can see I now have 2 of 4 tasks remaining, and now I see the next instruction. Delete the first occurrence of the word currently in the first sentence. I hit delete. I'm going to hit next. It's going to give you my next task. Select the word important in the first sentence. Type the word essential. I'm going to hit next. And then my final task is to join the first and second paragraphs. Again, these are all features that were covered within the first chapter. Once I have completed all of the steps, you'll notice that there is no more next. It now says check answer. It's going to grade my assignment. If I was correct, it's going to tell me great job. If I had any mistakes, it would tell me what they were, and I could go back and I could redo. I could clear the attempt and redo it. So it gives you several different options. So those are the exercises. Okay? Again, unlimited attempts, and they're not graded. So the items that do count towards your grades, the project exams, the skills check exam, and the concept exam. The concept exam is going to be questions, usually multiple choice. Again, have a word window open. You have a couple attempts on those concept exams. So if you don't do well the first time, don't accept that as your grade. Take another attempt. The skills check exam is going to ask you directions on multiple tasks, and you're going to hit check answer after each one of the tasks you complete. So again, it's going to look very similar to what the exercise looked like, except for each item you are going to hit check answer, and you get 3 attempts at each question. So see, it tells you select check answer after the completed task. There are 12 tasks. You get 3 attempts per the task. You will not have unlimited attempts. You will have 3 attempts at these. And again, if it's not full screen, just hit the escape key, hit full screen, and it will open for you. You can move the directions down to the bottom right corner by hitting that square. If you're unsure of something, you'll notice the light bulb here. It will give you an opportunity to either watch a how-to video, or it will show you how to do something if you can't remember. Good time to do that. You also have an opportunity to look at the different tasks. So you can either reset the document. If you want to view the task list to see what is covered within this, you can check the task list here. It tells you how many attempts you have on each question. If you want to jump to that particular question, you may do so. So there's a couple different things here on the skill exam. But again, you're going to hit check answer after each one of those. Okay? And then the last thing that you're going to have is the project exam for each chapter. And that is where you'll do something very similar to the exercises. It's going to be a document. You're going to complete a series of tasks on one document. And at the end, you will hit check answer. So for example, the first chapter project exam has, after it loads, it'll tell you how many steps. So you're going to hit next, and then at the end, you're going to hit check answer. And this one only has 3 tasks. Again, the first chapter is pretty introductory, so this may be a review for a lot of you. However, if it's brand new, that's okay. Take your time and work through all of these features.